Here we're taking a look at the female sagittal model once again. Emphasis here is being placed on the urinary structure, so we can see the reproductive structures, excuse me. You can see the uterus of the woman here. Notice it is once again anti-flexed in a position that finds it superior to the bladder. I'm going to take this front covering off so we can take a look at some more of the structures here. If we look tucked in the back wall over here, that would be the ovary. So there's the ovary. You can see the ovarian or uterine tube here in pink. It is divided into three major sections. The first section that's kind of wide, looks like a funnel as it begins to become narrow. This little section of the ovarian tube, this would be the infundibulum, It has these very little tiny strands that you see depicted on the model. These would be the fimbriae, which represent finger-like extensions that will help sweep the ovulated egg or oocyte into the ovarian tube. So these would be fimbriae. This area of the fallopian tube would be the infundibulum. The longest section of that fallopian tube is seen here. That section is called the ampulla. And then the terminal section, if we look back in this little corner right here, this would be where the uterus attaches to the ovarian tube. This little area right here, this is the isthmus. You can see number 16 there. That would be the ovarian ligament. It does go from the ovary to the uterus. So you see ovary there, uterus. This would be the ovarian ligament. As we take a look at the uterus here, the uterus does have three distinctive sections. Here would be the fundus, described as a dome-like area of the uterus. You would next have the body. The body of the uterus would go from where if we drop a line here, it would start here and go all the way to this point here. So everything from here to here, that would all be body within the uterus. Now, how do I know where the body stops and where the third section, the cervix, begins? I take a look at the wall. You see how it's smooth here within the body, and notice how it becomes jagged here in the third section. This entire section of the uterus, this would be the cervix. So we have fundus, body, cervix of the uterus. The space inside of the body is called the uterine cavity. So where the walls are smooth, the space within that smooth walled area would be the uterine cavity. Then the space within the cervix would be known as the cervical canal. So this would be cervical canal where the walls are jagged. This little opening to the cervix is called the external os. There's actually also an internal os, which we can find easily by looking for where the jaggedness actually, if you're coming from the body, would begin. So where this jaggedness starts, this would be the internal os. The opening here would be the external os. Notice how the cervix protrudes into the vagina, creating these little recesses on either side. The recesses are called individually a fornix, but plural would be fornices. So you got a little fornix here along with the fornix right there. This is the vaginal canal, which will lead you to the vaginal orifice, which is the opening to that vaginal canal. As you can see, you've got some of the urinary structures here. I'm not going to go over those for time's sake, but we do want to take a look at a few more components of the female genitalia. Here would be the labia minora, or you could say labium minus. You also would have labia majora. These are two folds of skin that surround the vaginal orifice. So you have labium minus or labia minora, labium majus or labia majora. It's just singular versus plural. Here would be the clitoris. There's an additional layer of adipose or fat tissue seen on top of the pubic symphysis. So here's the pubic symphysis. This layer of fat is the mons pubis.